we're coming here for you at GITEX Global Dubai 2025, the heart of innovation. Let's dive in and see what's shaping tomorrow's technology. Let's go. Well, it's an extremely pleasure meeting you, Harish, the Vice President of Sophos, and we are here at GITEX to ask you a couple of questions. I want to ask you, when you sit down with the board in Dubai this week, what two changes would you ask them to make right away so the organization becomes more resilient instead of just reacting to alerts and incidents?
Certainly, it's a very, I would say, necessary question. I would talk to board about understanding what are they doing in terms of security posture risk assessment, which is really necessary for us to understand what's the readiness of the organization in case of any incident happens. Have they identified the vulnerability and gaps in their current system? And how well they can recover from this particular incident. So I would say uh, we'll ask them to do security risk posture assessment as one of the top item. And the second item that I would like to recommend is a continuous threat hunting. Like what are they doing to invest to make sure that their particular network is always been monitored, and it's been actively there are incident responders as well as I would say security analysts which are working to identify the threats inside the organization, detect them and neutralize them. So we'll ask them to invest into any kind of managed detection and response services.
Well, Harish, your latest research it shows that attackers are increasingly they are logging in with
Yes.
valid credential rather than breaking in. So in practical terms, what is the first control or habit that stops that pattern across MIA enterprises?
So I would suggest to adopt multiple factor authentication at whether it's at an application level or any kind of multi-factor authentications. There are multiple available at nowadays. So that's
Yeah.
number one, will be there. And second, I would suggest is to go ahead with Active Directory hygiene, which is very much necessary, and invest into identity security tools. Like we have Sophos has ITDR capabilities now.
Yeah.
So they should look into that because that will help organizations when there are valid attempts happening with valid credentials, but there can be I would say anonymous logins happenings from different locations.
Yeah.
So ITDR has a capability to stop and identify, I would say identify first of all these kind of logins
Yeah,
happening.
totally agree. Well, speaking of that, how is Sophos supporting secure digital transformation for its customers in the Middle East?
Certainly. So what we are doing is Sophos is becoming a pure play cybersecurity vendor now,
Yeah.
and to support and resonate with the investments been happening in the region in terms of digital transformation. So all the businesses, I would say majority of them are adopting cloud as their mode of working itself.
Yeah.
So what we have done is we have announced our local data center in country, in the region itself, to make sure that businesses when they're moving into cloud setup, we have our own cloud which will make sure that there is a data sovereignty laws are available in the country and we align to data sovereignty laws itself. That is one. Second, it will reduce, I would say, the time to respond. Yeah. Because the data is hosted locally is this, and it will help to make sure that the businesses are compliant to regions, national cybersecurity policies.
Yeah, understood. Well, Harrison, the latest Sophos report, the human cost of vigilance reveals that a widespread burnout among cybersecurity professionals, right?
Yep.
So, what factors do you believe are contributing most to this growing pressure?
Yeah, it's been like it's getting crazy. The IT burnouts, I would say the IT guys are really stressed out nowadays, being continuously monitoring systems for any kind of attacks. So I would say the primary reason is there has been a case threat escalation. So volumes of escalations in terms of volumes of threats have escalated. So they have to really work continuously. The increase in threats is number one, is this. Second, there is a pressure from board and top officials that they should have a state of art, unflawed security system, which is quite unrealistic expectations. So that is number two. Number three, I would say uh, the number of alerts that these IT teams have to manage. So there are like voluminous thousands and thousands of alerts on daily basis, which is happening. So which is creating these guys have to really work and look into every alerts coming in and then see whether these are genuine or not. So that is, I would say, number three. And number four, I would say, uh, you know companies are limited in terms of budgets and resources. So when you have limits in terms of your budgets as well as your number of people working, which will increase the burden on the same staff to do multiple things itself. So I would say to have, the solution towards this is to pair their current products and team with MDR services from third party, which can help them to support and reduce the burnout of these IT teams.
True, very true. Well, my last question for
Yeah.
you. Boards are asking about harvest now, decrypt later.
Later, yeah.
How do you explain the post quantum timeline in plain language, and what's the one action you want organizations to take in 2025 and 26 so the long lived data stays safe?
Yeah, it's quantum computing is definitely going to be reality. Maybe like not now, within 10 years down the line.
Definitely.
So what will happen is the data which is encrypted today, which with quantum computers, you will be able to decrypt it.
Yeah.
So that data is no longer safe. So what attackers are doing is trying to steal all the data right now, and then maybe the data which is relevant in 2000, let's say 10 years down the line, they will be able to decrypt it with the help of quantum computers, and will be able to ask for some ransom or something like this.
Yeah.
So I would say is first of all, organizations need to understand that which data will be long lived, will have relevance after 10 years or 15 years of time period. So first inventorize that particular data is number one. And then I would say not to just, change entire infrastructure, but just to invest and identify those particular data points which needs to be re-encrypted with, I would say, quantum resistant algorithms, and start identifying that and start seeing what kind of algorithms can be deployed at later stage. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's very clever.
So the problem is going to happen, but what we need to do is we need to think now, proactively approach towards that particular thing.
Very true. Well, that was it for today, Harish. It's such a pleasure meeting you. Thank you so
Likewise,
much for
Suhad.
your time. Thank you for the insights.
Yep.
And we wish you best of luck at GITEX and your upcoming projects.
Thank you,
Thank you
Suhad.
so
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.